Okay, today we're adding integers with the same sign. So we're going to start with something pretty elementary of adding positives. So today we have two yellow and red colored counters, and the yellow side is going to represent positives. So one yellow counter represents a positive 1, and our red side is going to represent our negatives. So one red counter represents a negative 1. So then if I want to model a really simple problem like I might have seen in early first grade, I want to model 5 plus 6. And this is just positive whole numbers like we're really accustomed to working with. I'm going to represent the 5 first with 5 yellow counters. So there's 5 yellow counters. And then I want to add to that 6 positive counters. So I'm going to add another 6. And then I'm going to total up all together how many positive yellow counters I have. So it looks like all together now I have 11 positive yellow counters. So then my solution for 5 plus 6, positive 5 plus a positive 6 would be a positive 11. Now I'm going to look at two negative numbers. So if I want to find the sum of negative 3 plus negative 7, then I want to represent my negative 3 first. So since my red counter represents a negative 1, I'm going to represent that by 3 negative counters. And then I want to add to that another 7 negative counters. So I'm going to add to that 7 reds. So then my 3 red counters, my 3 negatives, plus an additional 7 negatives makes a total of 10 negative red counters. So then the sum of negative 3 and negative 7 is negative 10. Okay, so now we're going to continue with adding integers that have the same sign. And this time we're going to demonstrate it with our colored counters by drawing the colored counters, and we're also going to demonstrate it on the number line and slowly work towards the rule to add integers with the same sign without using a counters or a number line. So let's draw the counters to represent negative 5 plus negative 4 first. So to represent negative 5, I'm going to draw 5 circles. And since I need a negative 5, I'm going to color those red because my red chips represented my negative numbers. And then I'm going to add to that another negative 4. So I need to add to that another 4 red counters. And then these each represent 1 negative or negative 1. So then all together now I have 9 negative chips. And I'm going to do the same thing with my number line. So with this number line, I'm going to start at 0. I'm going to draw a line at 0 and an arrow to represent negative 5 steps on the number line. So if I want to do a negative 5 steps, that means I'm going to move to the left on my number line as if I'm subtracting. I'm going to draw a negative 5 on top of that arrow. So that arrow moves to the left from 0, negative 5 places. And now I'm at negative 5. From there, I want to add to that another negative 4. So I'm going to start here and draw another arrow 4 places to the left and label this one negative 4. Now I ended up at negative 9 on the number line. So I can tell that when I add negative 5 and negative 4, I end up with negative 9. I can do the same thing with two positive numbers. So to represent a positive 7, I'm going to draw 7 yellow chips and add to that 7 more yellow chips, each one of those representing a positive 1. And altogether, I can tell that this is going to be a positive 14. And I can represent that on the number line also. It looks like I can look ahead and tell I'm going to extend my number line out a little further. I'm going to start at 0, move to the right, positive 7 places. I end up at positive 7. I'm going to move to the right another positive 7 places. And I end up at positive 14. Okay, so now we're ready to record the rule for adding integers. So on your foldable, you want to open up the addition side, and we're going to focus today on operations with integers that have the same sign. So when we're adding two numbers that are both positive or adding two numbers that are both negative, our rule is to find the sum of the absolute values and then keep the same sign. The sign stays the same. So if you're adding two negatives, your answer is going to be negative. If you're adding two positives, your answer is going to be positive. So on these examples, if I want to add negative 7 and positive 7, the absolute value of negative 7 is 7. The absolute value of negative 7 is 7. So together, their absolute value is 14. They're both negative, so my answer is going to be negative. And you can visualize moving negative 7 places on the number line and negative 7 more places to the left. And then here's a positive 6 plus a positive 8. My answer is going to be positive. And I'm going to find the sum of their absolute values is 14, so my answer would be 14. And then on the third example, if I move to the left 20 places and to the left 10 more places on my number line, that would bring me to negative 30.